So I make a joke that's not really a joke, that I need to write a book called Supranomics, the economics of hospitality. Gamarjus. I'm Colin Donohue, the CEO of Kernel, a fintech here in Georgia, and founder of Startup Grind Tbilisi. Well, I ended up in Georgia quite by accident. Came here for love. I met my wife in the US where she was studying on a fellowship. So I thought I'd be here for 2 years, and I've been here 8.5 so far. Both my kids were born here, and it's rather home. When I got here 8.5 years ago, there were not really startups to speak of in Georgia. During the 8.5 years I've been here, it's been amazing how much of a change we've seen. And that sort of energy and that sort of passion to me was very much about what Georgia's about. I felt in my heart that there was something here that needed to be unlocked. And the way to do that was just get good people together, learning together here, and also bringing folks in from the US, where I was from. And so that was something that I as an American could kind of bring. I would bring my father-in-law's big 8-liter jugs of Georgian wine. We'd get somebody to get some pizza, find a free place to do it, and we would just gather founders. There are 600 different cities around the world that have these chapters, and the directors of those chapters, some of them will come to Silicon Valley one time a year to be part of this conference. So we made it where Georgia was the host of the party for these leaders from dozens of cities around the world. The first time we did it, we had 50 people, 50 leaders from startup communities around the world. Then we had 100, then we had 150. Then we had to rent out a whole bar because every one of these local leaders from around the world that came to Silicon Valley for this event were hosted by the Georgians. This was one of the awards we got from Startup Grind. This is for the Best Stage Award. Yeah, so this was a medal that Guido and I got in California when we were at one of the Startup Grind events. Sort of recognition that this chapter was creating powerful change. Georgi Tukashvili was a remarkable man, like just very, very intelligent, very, very dedicated to improving himself. Every day he wanted to be better. Every day he wanted to strive for challenges, things that made him grow, that were not easy. And so there's nobody really in my life that I've met who had that sort of exceptional character, both ability, desire to improve, and a heart for service. We found a guy who was a very serious startup founder. He had just gotten $50 million investment from Goldman Sachs, a Georgian who'd been living in the US for a long time, but he had a real heart for helping the startups. And so there was a team from Pulsar AI, which was doing conversational chatbots for one of the banks. And so we put them together in a room, and the rest is history. So he ended up co-founding a company with them that focused on automotive chatbots. So all of a sudden, these folks had tens of millions of dollars they didn't have 3 years before. So AmCham helps be a bit of a bridge between the business community here and trends internationally. Tries to communicate with different stakeholders, different institutions, what is needed for Georgia to be attractive to investors, to be attractive to companies that want to come here. One thing that's interesting to me about being in Georgia is how much it reminds me in some ways of Ireland. Ireland was at the bottom of the economics of Europe, and how far Ireland has come. Now the average income per capita, average GDP per capita is like $100,000 a year. And how did that happen? It was the digital economy. And it was in particular connecting with the American companies and American talent and deliberately making those international connections that help develop the country. I think Georgia can easily be the best in the region, both from Georgians who are from here and also attracting people who want to live in a wonderful place with wonderful people.